Welcome to the 75th episode of the MC Knitting Adventures podcast. My name's Colleen.
And my name is May. Welcome to returning viewers, and for those of you watching us for the first time, we're so glad you could join us. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. We're almost going to get there. We want to have another giveaway, so please make sure you hit that subscribe button as you're watching. We really appreciate that. Now, we've got lots to talk about today. We actually went on a tiny little adventure to Stratford. It's called The Nest. We want to talk about that. Colleen's been busy with crafts. I've been busy with crafts. I'm going to be showing you how I did one of my crafts, so make sure you watch that in our crafting section. Lots to talk about today, but before we begin, Colleen will talk about what we're wearing.
So first of all, let's talk about what May is wearing. She is wearing the Christine button cowl, and that's by Cozy Up Designs on Ravelry. And May actually made the buttons. So you had seen this before, but it didn't have the buttons on them, and it looks great on you.
It's so warm, and you just throw it on. Like, it's just warm and
it's really
cozy.
nice.
It'll be great underneath a coat.
Yes, so it is a paid-for pattern, but I just want to let you to know you don't have to make buttonholes. So if you are worried that I don't know how to make a buttonhole, I don't know how to do it, there's no buttonholes involved in that. So it's just, they're kind of fake buttons, but just because you need no buttonholes. But those are made in wood, and that was from May's handicrafts, so she's a talented soul. And I said to her when I was making things, May, I need buttons, help.
Well, it's so funny because my mom she started making a few of these for Christmas presents for her friends, and she just said to me, May, I need 12 buttons. I'm like, what? I don't think, and that's what kind of inspired me to maybe show my mom what is involved in making these buttons, because I can't just go, oh, 12 buttons.
It's a lot of work for you, I know.
But anyway, it was good. It's great. Works out.
All right, so that's what May is wearing. And I'm wearing the Friday Slipover by PetiteKnit. And the yarn that I used is the Barocco Remix Light.
Looks so great on you.
You know what? Obviously, I enjoy purple, but it's nice because it's just going to make things a little bit warmer. Like, it's not over the top. It's got a nice textured pattern. I would suggest, if you think that a vest might be something you would enjoy to have in your winter wardrobe, then this would be the one to do. It is fantastic. I really, really like the pattern. I had leftovers, so you'll see something of that when we're talking about works in progress. But I'm really enjoying it, and it allows me to wear it over top just of a white. You can wear it in the summer over a white t-shirt.
I know. I see that in the pattern. She's wearing it with short sleeves. You're wearing it with long sleeves, which looks just as nice too. So it might be nice in the spring and in the winter. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's great. It looks good on you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So that's what we're wearing, and next we're going to talk about finished objects. My first finished object is another pattern from PetiteKnit, and I started this a long time ago, meant to have it for the summer, but it didn't happen. But it is the Anker's summer shirt, and I've knit 2 or 3 of these, and I decided that I would try to use some of that Remix Light, again, by Barocco.
I really like these. I like how they knit up too. Like, they really knit up nice, and I think that's why you've done a couple of them.
Exactly, and there is a pattern. It's not in this pattern, but there is another one that's long sleeve, which might be something I'm going to work on. So here is this one. So it's kind of a charcoal color, which I really, really like. And to be honest with you, I think I could wear that over top of a long sleeve something.
I think so. Maybe a turtleneck or something like that.
Absolutely. So it's nice. The drape is really nice, and I really like how that knit up.
I like how it finishes off at the end. Is that a fancy finish off or just a regular?
I can't honestly remember. It's been a while since I did that piece of it.
Thank
you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of different ribs that you can use, and I know that PetiteKnit does a lot of interesting details.
Yeah.
So
great job on that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Do you have to do a swatch before you do that?
Yes, absolutely.
That's why it's not huge, right? Because you do the swatch.
Exactly. So that I have another 2 balls of yarn with. So I'm going to be using the leftover. And that, what I want to let you know is the Remix Light has a lot of yardage. So there's 432 yards or 400 meters in one ball, which is a lot. And it's a DK weight. It's a number 3 light is what we do. So there's lots of that. It allows you to have a little bit left over to do other things. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So that was my first finished object. My next finished object is the Jamie shawl.
You're so organized.
And that's by Cozy Up Designs again.
Have you done this before? It looks very familiar.
I have not done this before. I've had the pattern for a long time. Now, I used some yarn, and I will tell you what that is in just a second. I'll
Maybe
have
we
you hold that
saw
up.
this last time when you were doing the works in progress. That's how it
absolutely
looks
did.
familiar.
So this yarn is double knitting with merino. And once again, it's James C. Brett. I did all of the hats, by the way. The hats were a hit.
Oh, right. We showed the pictures. We should have shown the pictures.
Yeah. Well, I'll see if I can get you something, and we'll
okay.
do that. So the hats were a hit for my family that's out in Alberta.
That's right, yeah.
And so I was really, really pleased with that. But I had leftovers. And it appears I'm trying to use up leftovers.
I love this color.
Yes, me too. And this yarn is really, really nice. Now, I haven't blocked it, and I know that I need to. I need to do that about the edge. And so I will do that, and maybe I'll be wearing this next time. But this pattern is brilliant. It's great for something that's a solid or a tonal because there's so much texture in it, and I really, really like it.
I just love the color. And it's not purple.
It's not purple. But I
Beautiful
love the
color.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Thank you so much. I'm going to be nice and warm and cozy, that's for sure. All right, so that's that one. Now, my next finished object is actually two finished objects, and it's two of the Beloved by TinCanKnits. And we mentioned that we had a friend whose daughter is expecting twins. And so we thought for just a wee treat, we would do two wee matching hats.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, so our job is to get them over because I think babies are coming soon.
Coming soon, yeah. That'll
Exactly.
Be nice.
So that pattern, by the way, I'm just letting you know, this pattern is a beautiful pattern. They're patterned from baby sizes all the way to up to adult sizes. But the nice thing is with those straps, it's going to be nice to keep the hat on because lots of babies like to pull hats off, and this one won't happen.
That's great. Nice.
So I'm glad those are
that.
done. We'll have to make sure we get those out.
We will.
And that, once again, is same idea. It's that double knitting with merino by James C. Brett. Beautiful stuff. Nice and soft.
Nice soft, yes.
Now, the next one is a shawl that I completed a while ago, and it's called the Duchess of Devonshire shawl, and that's by Kay F Jones of the Baby Bears.
Now, you completed this a while ago, you said?
I had finished it and tucked it away, and I needed to block it. Now, the yarn that I used is called Emma's yarn, and it was a Hella Hank. So this, I think, if I recall, might use DK weight yarn, and I thought I'm just going to use my fingering weight yarn, but I have a lot of it. So I had this Hella Hank is 150 grams, so 600 yards, and I thought I'll just make it as big as I can.
I wonder who named it Hella Hank.
I don't know.
That's a heck of a name.
I know. They have a pattern that specifically, which is like a Hella scarf. Anyway, but I blocked it, and it opened up, and May feel that yarn. Now this yarn is
Cashmere?
merino, cashmere, and nylon.
I can tell there's cashmere in
I
it.
know,
I'm getting
it's
good
beautiful.
at this
And the
cashmere thing.
lace just opens up, and it's an
Beautiful.
applied border, and I'd never done one. And I just love it. I'm
It's
really, really
gorgeous,
happy with
yeah.
it. Are we on the right side or on the wrong side? Well, the nice thing is you can't
Can
really
you tell? That's a good thing.
I'll be able to
Because
tell
you
at
can
the
wear
top.
whatever way you want.
Be able to tell at the top. Wow, there you go. Let's go this way. We'll show you both ways. There it is. So I am so happy with this. And once again, I'll put a black turtleneck on, wrap it around, and it'll kind of lighten things up. Because sometimes in the winter, if I'm wearing black all the time, it's a little drab.
By
So
now you must have one of these a day, like for the winter season.
I probably do. I probably do. Let's be honest.
That's okay, gives you a variety of things.
Exactly, that's right. But this one we got like a year and a half. Well, no, it's maybe 2 years now. When we went to Florida,
Well,
that's where we bought that.
we got the heck of a hell of a
hella hank by Emma's Yarn. The yarn is beautiful, by the way. All right, now my last finished object is a pair of socks.
Well, we've done these before. They look familiar.
They do, and these are Katy Lou sock pattern by Dragon Pine Designs. Katy Lou Green, I think, is the name. And I used the Bernat socks, and it is a thicker weight, and these have come up a little bit thicker. Now, when I did yours, I think it was my very first pair of socks that I did,
Right.
And I believe that I knit them really tight because I was really nervous.
Oh, okay.
So these ones aren't as tight, but the person that these are for, I think these will fit better.
I hope so, yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I think the person that these are for has wide feet, so this will be perfect.
Exactly. So I'm really excited about that.
You did a great job on these.
All right. So those are my finished objects. And May, just a second. I have
There's
one
more,
more finished
and there's
object.
more.
I do have one more finished object.
It's kind of like those advertisements.
Exactly.
Wait, there's one more.
Now, you had seen this last time, but we were doing the pom-pom debate, whether I should put a pom-pom on or not. So this is There's No Place Like Home by Cozy Up Designs. That's a hat and mitt pattern, and it's Shell Ridge yarns, and it is their 100% superwash merino worsted. And we decided pom-pom. And I'm really, really happy with it.
Now, was this the magnetic pom-pom?
Yes.
So it just clips on, clips off. I won't do it because...
You can go ahead.
Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, look.
There you go. So you sew on the part to here, and then it just...
There you go.
There it is, and then you put the pom-pom on. And it's
And
very
pretty,
magnetic.
Well, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's not going to... Well, maybe I just didn't do that right. There you go.
There it is.
There it
now,
is.
it's not like I'm doing back handsprings in the backyard or anything,
Yeah.
so I think we're going to be okay.
Right, you're not at the playground or anything like that.
Exactly.
So it's not coming off. But
No.
this turned out nice. I love the textures of this.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy.
Yeah, I think that'll keep you nice and warm too.
Perfect.
Cute.
All
Very
right.
nice.
I think that's it. Those are my finished objects. So May, finished objects for you.
I do have finished objects, but I think I'll keep them for the craft section because
Okay.
that's more of a crafty kind of a thing.
All right, perfect.
And we can talk about it then.
That sounds great. So
All right.
next we're going to talk about works in progress. My first work in progress, I can't really show you. And the reason for that is because it is an Advent pattern. And so it's called 8 Crazy Nights by Cozy Up Designs. So they worked with Dire Wolf Yarn Company. So there you go. And if you take a look, there's the Northern Lights.
That's a nice card.
It is a beautiful
Can
card.
you see the back of it too?
You can, but they can't.
Oh, I see.
Because there's a pattern code on there, which I
Oh.
can't share to the world. There you go, you can do that. So what they did, the Dyer, and it was a collaboration between the Cozy Up sisters and with Dire Wolf Yarn.
This is very
Cool.
secretive, I gotta tell you.
It is very secret.
You just can't show the code, you can't show the yarn.
It is.
Should we really be showing this at all?
We can. So first of all, it's a shawl. I can tell you that. You can buy this pattern right now, and you can just put your own things together. So the Advent itself came with 8 50-gram skeins of DK weight yarn. You can use fingering weight yarn, it says, in 8 colors. So you could go onto Ravelry right now and buy this and kind of create your own with, using your yarn that you had. Now, I bought this. I probably purchased it in April or May. I'm going to say as early as that. And so I knew that it was coming, but I didn't know exactly when it was coming. And I knew that I'd ordered it. But to be honest with you, when it arrived, there were things in there that were quite a surprise for me. So I'm going to show you some of it because people will have opened it, so I can do that. So remember, we're talking about the Northern Lights. So the first thing that happened is you open the box, and there are, in my case, there were 8 50-gram skeins, all numbered, organized in order.
Did it take that long to come? Like, did it
No,
take from May
no,
to
no.
now? It came quickly.
It came very quickly. It's just
Okay.
they didn't send them out. They had to dye. They have to take the orders, dye the thing.
I see.
dye the yarn.
Okay.
Yes. No, and I have
And
to
you knew
admit,
that.
yeah, Dire Wolf Yarn Company, brilliant. And they do, when you order it, it says specifically when it will
Okay.
ship. So I wasn't worried at all. And then there were some nice surprises. So first of all, there was a project bag.
Looks like the Northern Lights.
It looks like the Northern Lights. Did I know there was a project bag? You know what? It was that far back. I don't know if I knew that. So that was a nice surprise. Then in here, there were some stitch markers from the Grocery Girls. So that was kind of a nice surprise. There was some wool wash, I think, some wool wash. Wolf skin lotion.
So
So
feel
it's
free
not-
to read that while we're podcasting.
Well, I want to make sure I'm telling you right. It's lotion. It's not wool wash. I should have had
See?
this out. I should have had this out earlier.
So
I
it's
don't
for
know.
your hands?
It's for my
Can
hands.
we try it out?
Well, you
We'll
smell
try
it
it out.
first. Smell it first.
This is, oh, it's nice. This is live on TV.
Oh my gosh. There it is.
A little bit will do ya.
It will if I can squeeze. Here you go. I just don't want
Maybe this is why live TV doesn't work. Oh, look at that. Nice.
There you go. If you need to share, I'll take some.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Oh, it smells beautiful. Oh, lovely. It's so fun.
Oh, that is really nice.
Yeah, when I looked, I thought, so it's called Wolf Lotion. Wolf.
It smells like the Northern Lights. I wish you could smell this.
It does.
It's beautiful.
It is. It's a beautiful set.
And
So
it's nice and smooth.
got some lotion. Then the last thing that came in this bag is it's called Canadian Magpie Jewelry, Shiny Pretty Things. And so it is a necklace, and it's got 3 lovely beads that are beautiful on it. Something I could wear. So it was just such a surprise. This was a surprise today because I did think it was, I don't know why I thought it was wool wash. I'm sure it said what it was supposed to be, but that was lovely. So that was my surprise.
Nice. I like the project bag.
Me too.
And the lining of it is it plastic? Oh, no, it's very nice cloth
And what
lining.
color is it?
And it's purple.
It's purple.
They must have thought, we're going to send that to Colleen, it's purple.
There you go. So I
nice.
was thrilled, and I'm having a great time doing this Advent.
I thought this was like a nylon-y thing, but it's like a cotton. It's beautiful.
It is. It's really, really nice.
Yes. That'll go with your other 100 project bags.
I don't have 100. I make them, and then I give them away.
Oh, that's true. Maybe
There we go.
Maybe you have a few.
Just 1 or 2. All right, so I realized that there's a little bit of secretive going on in there, but you can buy the pattern and create your own Advent if you want. Look at some of the things you have left, and that would be great. So that's my first work in progress. Now, my second work in progress is something called the Skagen shawl. And this was because I had 1 ball left of the Remix Light in this purple. So I decided I could have a shawl. And I'm glad that I did because this pattern has some nice lace in it. I think
Something dropped.
it was okay. It's
Okay.
just balls of yarn, which we can find. Now, this is really nice. So this, we talked about being TV knitting. So up to this point, TV knitting, and then we got into some lace. But I will tell you, if you've never done lace before, this would be a good pattern because it does call for only 1 ball. It says almost the entire ball was used. If in doubt, buy a second. I'll be honest with you. If I hadn't made this vest, I would have used a second ball. But I didn't have a second ball. I had a tiny bit left. So I've had to do some fancy footwork. I would suggest if you're going to use the Remix Light that you buy 2 because I could have just done the pattern as it was. And I wasn't going to have enough. So I had made it and didn't like how it was going, so I've ripped it back. I had to do a little bit of fancy footwork, but I'm glad I did because I wanted to show you a way to handle lace. So if you take a look, and I'm not sure you can see them, so every 11 stitches in this case, I have these stitch markers.
Oh, I see them, yeah.
And what that does is that's 1 repeat of the lace so that you know that you're in good shape. And you know what I mean? So you do the repeat and then you go to the next set of 11 stitches. And so it doesn't let you get in too much trouble. And so that's something that I wanted to show you because we did have a question about lace and how do you keep tabs on it. Normally I don't do this, but I had to do it because I was kind of designing a section. Because the way that this worked is you did 2 of the lace, you did 1 of plain, and then you were supposed to do 2 of the lace again. I wasn't going to have enough. So what I've decided is I'm just going to do 4 of the lace, and then I'll be able to cast it off.
Now, how much yarn of the next ball would you have used though? Just a little bit? Then what do you do with that ball of yarn?
No, I would have, you probably could make a hat actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could make a hat. I would have needed quite a bit because I where I was, it just wasn't going to happen. But you know, when
nice. I like it. I like the size
it.
of it. You know, it's not that great big huge. It's just a really nice size.
Exactly. And as I said, if you're thinking about trying lace, never tried lace before, great pattern.
Nice. Good for knitters to know, I imagine.
Exactly.
And I will
these little teeny tiny balls of yarn just went rolling all over. So
I'll go get those.
don't worry about that. It's all good. We'll get it
All right.
later. All right, so that's that. My next work in progress was something that you saw before, but I'm just going to show you how far I am, and then we're going to talk about the debate of what Colleen should do with socks. So if you take a look, these are the Prairie socks by Kay F Jones, and this is using the Regia Premium Merino Yak. Beautiful yarn. And I had made a cowl, the Bombini cowl, and now I am making a pair of socks. So this pattern has 3 sizes, and because my feet are small, I make the small size, but we talked about having mature calves, and so then I had to do some fancy footwork. So what I did in this case was cast on with a larger needle and then went back to the smaller needle, and then we went through. So these socks fit, but I was working on another pair of socks, which I'm going to show you, and I thought, why didn't I do this before? So anyway, I'm that far. I'm not going to rip this out until I know for sure if my new plan is going to work better. Part of the thing is when you've got a pattern like this, and I'll just hold this up, it's a paid for pattern, and it kind of, it's like ribbing, it kind of sucks that in, then you can go with a bigger stitch count, which is what I'm trying to figure out whether I don't even have the heart to rip it out right now, but I'm going to take a look at it.
Now this is very different than what you usually do, your usual sock. How are you liking this pattern?
I love this pattern.
In comparison to the one that you use a lot. Like,
Yes.
You like it just as much?
I like it as much. And in fact, if I'm going to do plain socks for the boys in the future, I probably would use this pattern.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, good to know.
Yeah, it's a really, really
They're
nice pattern.
Nice colors.
Yeah, I'm really thrilled with that.
Yeah. Now, will you use both of these? Will that do 2 pairs of socks, this yarn?
Will
Like
it?
1 pair of socks?
Yes, it will. For sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. No problem with that. And I've also made the cowl out of there.
Oh.
So I'm getting all the bang for my buck, is that what, as they say. So that's the Prairie socks, KF Jones. Now let's talk about socks. You can tell that Colleen's printed too many color photos. All right? May always says, "You're printing in color again." I'm going, yes, I am.
And then I go to print one time. I'll go to print one a year. Once a year, this is what I get. Colleen!
What are you doing? Anyway, it's all good. I need to buy color. We're fine for black. I just refilled the black, but I got to get some color. Anyway, so this is an advent that the Bakery Bears are doing. So I'm a Patreon. We've talked about that. And so they do this over the month of December. Now, part of what they've done is they've taught you how to dye some yarn. And I mentioned to May that they're doing, so one sock is going to be a certain color with different color heels, toes, and then the other one, it's the reverse. And I thought, I can't cope with reverse, and that's just me. So what I did was I thought, well, I know I've got sock yarn, so I'm going to go grab some sock yarn, and I'm just going to make 2 socks, but I can do that. So here is what I'm using. Now, it's still this Merino Yak, Regia Premium. But I had this lovely color, which I like. Yeah, it's the same yarn. It's beautiful, by the way. And I am started this. So as of the 2nd of December, no, 3rd of December we started. So this is what I knit yesterday. And so we'll get some on the 5th. Now, this is the texture that this is of. So if you want to hold that up. Except it's not every 2. It's not every 3. It's a different number.
So does it make it that little bit thicker?
Now, this is also...
It changes it up a little bit.
It's... What it is a bigger stitch count.
Oh, okay.
So here is where I am. I have 2 choices. And I'm thinking if I like this sock. So this sock, the smallest size, has 64 stitches. For this one, it's 58 stitches, if I am correct. 56 stitches. 56 stitches. So what happens in this is I've used the same size, like a 2.25 for the ribbing, but I'm going to change to a 2. And
you're
then
talking to me like I know what you're talking about.
Okay, let me talk to you. Yeah. She's going like, why are you talking to me? All right, so The pattern calls for 2.25. So I've done the ribbing in 2.25. My plan is to try and do the rest in a 2, and that's gonna suck the 64 stitch in.
Okay.
And if that works, then what I might do is come back to this and do the same thing. Because this fits, but it's a little snug.
Yeah. There's not a lot of stretch in it, really, is there?
Well, I
maybe
know that if I blocked it, it would be beautiful.
Okay.
So that, and I just right now, I don't have the heart to rip that out. So I'm gonna work on this one, and I'm gonna do some figuring at how it's gonna go. Okay?
Yeah, that was a lot of figuring out.
That was a lot of information. I apologize. But anyway, I'm in sock mode, and I love making socks, so that's good. All right, my next work in progress is something called the Lemme Cowl. And it's by Nelkin.
You are busy, busy, busy.
I am busy, but it's a nice little project, so it's good.
Have you done this before?
This pattern?
Yes.
No. And the yarn that she used in this kit, so this is one of the Lola's Choice kits. This is the one for November. The yarn she used was Madeline Tosh, Twist Light. It's beautiful yarn. So there's a little bit of beading in it, and you can see that at the top.
It is nice.
Now this will block out. You can open up the lace. It's really, really nice.
That is really nice.
Now I have this much left.
Wow, this is kind of blingy.
It's a little blingy, and it sits right up at your neck, so it's kind of like having a bit of a necklace on.
Wow.
Which I'm really, really happy about.
Love the colors of those beads.
Exactly.
Wow.
Now, I have been weighing my yarn as I go, and we're going to talk about, probably in Souvenirs, some things if you're thinking about asking for some Christmas gifts. If you're thinking of asking for something, I'll give you some ideas. And how you weigh this yarn, I would ask for, because it saved me. So the pattern itself said to stop at a certain point, and I was weighing it as I went, and I have this much to cast off, and it's going to be enough.
That's perfect.
So I'm almost there. I just basically have to do the cast off,
Yeah, it
and
looks
I'll be
great.
done.
Good.
Then I will definitely block this, because otherwise it's going to be like you're
Yeah,
a
choker.
Exactly. So that's that. So we've got a pile here. Oh my goodness. So I've got one more, and that is a sweater. And that is the Flax sweater by TinCanKnits. And the yarn that I'm using for this is called Jeans, and it's from Lion brand. Now it's 100% acrylic, and it's a worsted weight.
Finally, a name I can pronounce.
Now, I'm busy working on it. And the Flax it is a free pattern. So if you're thinking about trying a sweater, this would be a great one. And if you're not sure about sweaters, you could knit a little one, because you can do that. So I have knit a Flax
Love
before.
the color of this too.
I am thrilled with this.
Wow, it feels so soft. I wasn't
is.
expecting that.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy. Now, the Flax can be knit either with short row shaping or without. They give you a good tutorial about how to do it. I decided to give it a try and do that. It's just going to make the back of it a little higher than the front, which makes things a little bit more comfortable to wear. So I am... sorry for all that stuff. I've got waste yarn holding stitches, and it's a bit of a mess, but I'm really, really liking it, and it's nice. This is definitely TV knitting. Just knit around and around and around, and then I'll get to the bottom, and then we'll start working on some sleeves.
Sleeves.
Yes.
Sleeves, yes.
It's okay. I'm not worried about sleeves. The nice thing about the sleeves have this band of ribbing, garter stitch down, and it's such a nice detail. And I think it'll give you a little bit of extra structure.
It's really
to it,
nice, soft, and that'll be really great when it's done.
I'm really, really thrilled.
And very
with it.
warm. It feels like it would be warm too.
There you go.
Well, you have been busy. You are busy.
I am busy. That's for
And you know what? You sit on the couch, and I have no idea what you're doing. And
And
look
I'm
at
just
all
saying,
this.
Look at this, May. Look at this, May. What do you think about these number of stitches on these socks? She's like, whatever. Anyway, you are a big support, even though I talk knitting some of the time.
That's
so
okay.
I appreciate it. So those are my works in progress. And May, how about you works in progress?
Lots of works in progress. I'm still down in my miniature room doing that kind of thing. I've got lots of things on the go. And, you know, I can't bring it out of my miniature room, but you know what? We'll talk about it another time.
Okay, that sounds great. So next we're going to talk about our crafting adventure.
For our little craft adventure, well, it wasn't really a craft adventure. We'll talk first about our actual knitting adventure.
Perfect.
For we haven't done one of those for a while.
Exactly.
We went to Stratford. It was just a mini thing. It was actually on our way by. I was going to get a saw. Colleen is buying me a saw for Christmas. I was going to get the saw, and we went to Stratford on the way, and we went to the Nest. And Colleen can tell you a little bit about that yarn store, which was great. Vicky was the owner there. She was lovely. I wish we could have spent more time, but we were on a time constraint that day.
Right.
A little bit of a snowstorm. We weren't expecting that.
Nope.
But we got through it. And anyway, Colleen can tell you all about that little store. It was great.
I will do that. So the funny thing is, we looked at the weather and we decided we'll sneak it in on Tuesday because we were going to go on Friday, but there's snow on Friday. So we got part of the way to Stratford, and it was like
a snowstorm.
Snowstorm.
The road was covered. Now, Colleen didn't, because it was so stressful, you didn't get the camera out to get a picture of it. We got a little bit of photos here, a little bit of video of after the fact.
Right.
But the actual video of the snowstorm we didn't get. But
No,
this will just give you an idea.
I was trying to keep May calm because she was driving. Anyway, and then all of a sudden the skies opened up and it was clear. It was just lovely. So it worked out. I'm glad we persevered to do that. So the store is called The Nest. It says where birds meet yarn.
And when I went on the website there, the colors were absolutely brilliant. Brilliant colors. And that's what kind of drew me to that.
Exactly. There's so many beautiful photos. So she takes a photo of a bird and she dyes yarn that has those colors. And it's absolutely brilliant because the colors in nature are always beautiful. And the colors that get put together are there for a reason. And so it's really, really amazing, the colors that she does. Now, Vicky Ryder is her name, and she's a bird enthusiast and fiber artist, and she started dyeing out of her kitchen. And she did that for a while, and now she has the store. She does work online as well, but she can dye in her workspace. There's place for her to dye, and then the front of the store actually has things for sale. So she had some knitting needles. She has all different kinds of weights of yarn, and it was beautiful. And May said, "I'm so sorry, Colleen, we've got to go because we were supposed to meet somebody." And
we were at Stratford time, but we'll certainly go back to Stratford because it's one of our go-to places in the summer.
Exactly.
And we have done another podcast on Stratford, and we've talked about the swans, and we've talked about the theater, and we've talked all about Stratford. So you might want to check back on one of our podcasts when we talk about Stratford. Great place to visit.
Now, Vicky has done trunk shows. She was doing one at Little Red Mitten, which we kind of were to her before that was going to happen. So she's done that. She had done the Wool Fest that was at Paris, Ontario this year. She's going to Montreal.
And we were booked up to go to Montreal before COVID hit.
Exactly.
And we would have run into her then.
Yeah.
But she had to cancel like everybody else. And now I think Montreal's doing another one.
Yep, that's the plan, is my understanding.
So she'll be
it was great. As I said, it was just a little visit, but she was so kind. She talked about speaking at knitting guilds, and she also is a part of a knitting group. And so it was interesting just to get a sense and just, to be to a different store that we hadn't been to, that isn't very far from where we are, and to meet such a wonderful dyer and bird enthusiast.
And her place looks so organized and well taken care of.
Exactly.
Did you notice that? Like it was very orderly, very clean. Yeah. It was just a really nice visit. I wish we could have stayed longer.
Absolutely.
Next time we'll be back.
So just want to let you know that each skein of bird-inspired yarn generates a $2 donation to Birds Canada for conservation and education. So it's amazing. So you do a good thing and you get some yarn. Yeah, so it's exciting. So I'm going to show you my yarn because, of course, even though we were strapped for time,
you had to buy something.
Now I had been on her website as well, and I'd seen this picture of this bird, and I just loved the picture so much. I could actually have that picture somewhere, and saw the yarn in person, and it was beautiful.
So check out her website. It's great.
Exactly. So that is my part of the adventure. And May, what did you think about Chipping Away?
We went to Chipping Away, which was a place that actually it does carving, wood carving, but they sell tools. They sell a lot of little power tools, which is awesome. Proxon is what they sell. They sell the chop saw, table saw, And so I got the little miter chop saw, which is great. And I have a little video of me unboxing it, and I can show you that. That was the chop saw. What do you think? It's so little, but it does a great job. My next video will be, I'll show you actually in action. I have used it since that video, and it is absolutely amazing. I just didn't have the camera with me. And so I'll show it to you in action. It is brilliant. It cuts straight lines, so thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome.
Present,
yeah,
so.
You know what? At this vintage, you might as well get something that you love. And I'm so happy. And she was just wanting to get home so fast because I just want to open it. I want to try it out. So
it was great. So I have tried it out for a few times. So
that's great.
It's awesome. It was worth the trip.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about our crafting adventure. Shall I go first? Maybe?
Sure, you go ahead.
All right. So,
don't throw it.
Sometimes life gets interesting. I was just trying to pull it and then it wasn't there. Okay. What I decided was I wanted to try a different bag pattern. Not that the bag patterns that I've used in the past weren't good, but I thought I just want to try something a little different. And I thought I'll make myself a Christmas bag because I don't have a Christmas bag, so I will do that. And I did some things in it that make me very happy with what's going on. So this is a Kandou, Kandou pattern, which you can get on Etsy. This is the middle size. There's a small, a medium, and a large. I thought before I get going, I'm going to try the medium size, and I'm really, really happy with how it went out. I feel like you're Vanna right now.
I know. I feel like Vanna. I like how it sits.
All right. So I'm just going to tell you some of the things that I did because if you're thinking about sewing, this isn't a bad one to do. The instructions are really good. So I used some fusible fleece in the base because that's allowing it to sit nicely. And I used just regular interfacing up at the top. Now, this pattern, you can either have pockets on both sides. I just put pockets on one side. So there's 3 separate little pockets. I don't have
That's a great idea.
I know. I was really happy with that.
Are pockets hard to sew in?
You know what? This pattern, it's a totally different way of sewing a bag. And I really like it. And I've got the handle on it, so I'm happy with that.
And the drawstring?
The drawstring. So I'm really thrilled. And now what I'm going to do is make another bag, which is a little bit bigger, which won't be quite so Christmassy. But I like that this Christmas. I have this thing about gnomes. Don't ask me why. I like gnomes. So this is kind of fun.
You know what? I love your colors that you picked. Was that random, or did you just kind of like match this up, or how did you do that?
I was looking at the Christmas fabric. Now this was from Fabricland, and I was looking at that, and I bought this green with the gnomes, and I also bought gray with the gnomes. The gray is not quite as Christmassy, obviously, but it's got the buffalo plaid. It's still Christmas. It's still wintry, I guess, is the difference. And then I was in Fabricland again, and they had made like a pillowcase with the buffalo plaid.
Oh.
And I really liked how it looked together.
Nice.
And the fabric that's the lining is just fabric that I had on hand.
Nice. Now, look at even the Christmas trees and the lining. How
I know.
Cool.
I know.
Is that? And then you just have a drawstring like this.
Yep.
And then you got a little handle.
I am thrilled.
Wow. And you can change this up for maybe a different color, like maybe red or green or something would be good too.
Yeah, I'm debating.
Black. Yeah. Nice though.
I'll think that up. So I'm really, really happy with it. So that was my new crafting adventure. It took me, I said to May, it took me a little while just to get into the swing of things, to do this because I had to create the patterns. I did all the measurements and made templates. But now that I have those, I think I could kind of cut out a small, medium, and large, and I could just make them in that.
Well, it's better than a baggie. That's all I can say.
It's definitely better than a baggie. And maybe if we get 1,000 subscribers, I might make something like that.
Oh, I think the person would be thrilled to get that.
Yes, I think.
Yeah.
So I think that's a plan.
Good idea.
All right, so that is my craft adventure. So now, May,
Well, I have been busy doing my miniatures again. Now, it's cold in the garage, so I don't get a lot of my saw. Like, because I got the new saw, I thought I really want to spend more time in the garage in the winter, but it's very cold and, you know, it gets minus whatever, 20, whatever it is. So I came up with this brilliant idea that we would get a garage door that was insulated. And then I looked at the price and I went, oh, you know, maybe we don't really need it in this insulated garage door. So then I went on YouTube, which is brilliant, to see how to insulate a garage door. So I did, and I insulated the garage door. There it is. Now, I didn't have a video of me doing that because I don't think I could handle all the curse words.
Too many beeps going on.
Too many beep, beep, beep. Because it was styrofoam put in. I don't know if it's done correctly or not. I didn't fill everything in that maybe I should have. There might be some condensation getting behind there. It might get moldy, probably. But it's okay for this winter. In the spring or summer, I just taped it on, that silver tape that you see.
Right.
And I can take that off and do it again, or we just get a new garage door that is already insulated. But it, you know, it saved us like probably a couple $1,000s.
That's okay.
So
as long as you get a chance to be out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's still cold. I still have to wear the winter coat.
Right.
But I have a heater, and I can maybe be out there a little bit longer, and maybe not maybe January, February, but then again, starting March and April, it'll be
Right,
it'll be
and you were
warmer.
talking about maybe getting a little bit more of an industrial heater too.
Right. I only have a little heater. Yeah. So
Okay.
so that was one of my projects. So that's time consuming to do that.
Right.
And it's a little nerve-wracking. And last week we talked about crafts. We talked about me being inspired with this little couch, and I wanted to make something similar, but I couldn't make the round unless I had this big piece of wood that I would like to do that. So and so then I ended up making my rendition of that couch, which looks like this.
It is brilliant.
And Colleen was nice enough to support me by making these little pillows, which is great, which just brings it on, you know.
Oh, thanks.
Now, my miniature mark friend tells me there's this thing called bunky. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Bunka? I think. Have you heard of bunka?
I haven't heard of bunka. You've called it bunky and you've called it bunka, so I don't
think
know
it's
what
bunka.
Okay.
Anyway,
We'll go with
what it
bunka.
is I think it's needlepoint. People might know what that is. It's kind of like a thread, and it does the trim, and it's just a
Okay.
fine little trim that you can
Right.
put around. It hides a lot of mistakes.
Oh.
But that's what I know.
I need some bunka in my
Yeah.
life.
But I've been making quite a few of these because I want to sell them in my store. So, and I'm going to maybe try different material. And now I have the basis on, this is my
It
pattern,
looks
how to make it.
amazing.
I can maybe experiment with maybe wider ends. I can maybe go
Right.
taller, shorter.
Right.
I don't know. But I can now experiment. And this comes off, and it's made with maple. And it's just a strip of maple, and I attached 3 strips so that I could get the height of this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's a lot of
so
work.
3 strips of wood, and then you router that out, and then. But I've come up with a pattern, which has been great. So and now
Perfect.
I've got a pattern to make for the chair.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do the chair, but for next podcast, I maybe show you how I did that.
Okay.
So I've been that's been kept me quite busy. I have made 10 of these little beds. I haven't stained this one yet. It's not quite complete. That's how I make my little beds. These are actually made from painter sticks. The middle part here.
Right.
And so it's quite slick on how I
Yeah, absolutely.
did that. So it made it easier for me when I make these beds. This is maple. I made that out of maple.
Right.
And then I make the little
I have to tell you, you have come a long way in your mattress situation.
yes, I'm getting really good at covering the mattresses. I think at the first I was glue everywhere and I had them all tucked in, but I can
It's
now do it
beautiful.
nice and neatly at the ends.
Exactly.
And I've got a way to figure that out. That worked
I'm
out
just
nice.
giggling because what I say to May every time she wants to use some of my fabric is that, May, you have to cut from the end and just cut the corner.
You always know when I've been in Colleen's fabric, it's kind of like all over the map. And there's strands
But
everywhere.
I can tell by what you're doing now that you're getting
better at that.
Better at
but
that,
yeah,
so.
like I've done a few of them. So my plan is to stain this maple
Right.
dark, and then I've got a few of these little bed things made.
Right,
I'm
right,
getting
right.
I say better at that.
And then I've got a
and
little
then
bit of work to do.
Colleen is going to make me some bedding. She's going to sew up some bedding and a little pillow.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to sell those in my store. So it'll end up looking like that, if you can kind of envision that. It's kind of cute.
It is very cute.
Yep.
You do a great job.
So I've been busy making quite a few of those.
I think I've got some work to do.
Yes. And what else? Oh, and I made a little table.
Very nice.
This is for a specific project. So I just have these spindles I got at an auction, a bunch of spindles.
Oh, wow.
So I just had the spindle, I cut out a round piece, glued
Right.
it on, and then I made some legs from my scroll saw.
Oh my goodness,
I made those
May.
little legs.
That's amazing.
And then I made a couple of little chairs.
Oh my goodness.
This was fiddly, but
I think
I'm
so.
trying to figure out a better way or a different way to make a chair, but we'll go with that for now.
Yeah, that's great.
And then I made just a little cover. I'm going to glue that on there, and I've got a
Right.
couple of those, and that's for another project.
Very nice.
So that I've been making, and then I'm making a table. Made this table. I like the legs
The
because I
legs
was
are
trying
great. Yeah.
with I saw this
Very
done
nice.
somewhere, and I'd made these legs. So that turned out okay. It's 1 to 12 scale, and now I just have to make the chairs, which will take me 2 days to make one chair. You know, you look at this little thing and you think, oh, that's so cute and, you know, nice and doesn't look like much, but oh my gosh, it's so fiddly. Like putting these little tiny rings and runs in here and getting
Yeah.
the right height of all of them, because you don't always drill the hole even.
Right.
So every one is a different size,
Right.
basically. And then getting the ones on the side to fit, oh my gosh. Anyway, I might get better at that. I'm working on that.
You are.
So, you know, all of these little projects have kept me so busy, which is good. It keeps me out of your hair.
There you go.
And those are my crafting projects. Did I do something else? Oh, yes. I've done a lot of this miniature luggage, which I love to do. A friend of mine, Maria, gave me a pattern or some templates. And what it is just pieces of wood with some tongue dispensers on the sides. And then I put a little dowel in mine. And then you can wrap them with material, like I did some with leather, as I'll show you
Right.
on these photos. Some with leather. I did most of mine with material. Then I do some trimming, and you can add on what you like, some little bit of chain or little clasps that you can get.
Right.
But you know what else I learned while doing that from my friend Mark? Is that you can take material and you can photocopy it, and then you have that pattern on your color paper.
Oh my goodness.
I won't do that a lot because you'll end up with no paper, but you can.
Right.
And so if you like something like for the luggage kind of thing, I didn't do this with paper, but I could have. Is I could photocopy my material
Right.
and just use paper to cover them.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So it was it's a good idea. I haven't done it, but we'll see how that works.
I'll get
I've seen
some
it
color
done.
ink before we try
Yeah,
and do that.
we'll do that. So those were time consuming, but I love doing that, and I can't wait to do some more of those maybe in the summer, because you can do so much. Like it's just these little pieces of wood, and you can design your own, or you can get.
You
some
did an
cool
amazing
things.
job.
Yeah, well, it was very, very much. It was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. So. So those, I've been busy, and those are my craft adventures, Colleen. So
Next we're going to talk about souvenirs. My first souvenir is the yarn that I got at the Nest. And that is from Sogburnt Yarns of Fibers. And this is the black-billed magpie. So I'm going to get May to take a nice picture of that picture.
beautiful.
But the yarn has all the colors. So it's greens and blues and
Looks
creams.
like a peacock, really.
It's got lots of beautiful colors. And she always gives you a little stitch marker.
Oh.
And so this is fingering weight yarn. But I just, that's
a
going to...
cute stitch
I
marker.
know,
It's a
it's
little
great.
owl.
So that's going to make me something nice. I'm not sure what. I know it could make socks, but I'm not sure I want it to
Oh,
be
no.
socks.
It's
I
too
think
nice
it
for
needs to be a
socks.
shawl of some kind.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to try and find a one skein shawl pattern.
Very
that I'm really,
nice.
really liking.
That was
That's
a good find, yes.
Yep, that was fantastic. And it's amazing when you're given 10 minutes that you can find something you absolutely love in a yarn store.
Okay, go.
It was easy peasy.
That kind of reminds me, I'm going to tell a little story. We used to
Go.
have a student,
Go.
we used to have a student, years ago that we worked with, and talk. And he just would talk over you and talk around. So Colleen, and nobody could get him to stop talking, and blah, blah, blah. So Colleen would set her watch and she'd go, okay, start. And she'd watch her watch. And
I'd
she'd
say, "You've got a minute."
You've got a minute. And he would just go. And then time's up. And then he'd stop, which was perfect because the whole world would go, oh.
And
You
then
got him to do that.
and then he would work for a while, and then we'd need to do it again. But he just had to get
Get
that
it out.
out.
You had to get it out. I get that. I understood that. That
Yeah.
you have something to say, you've got to get it out. But you'd go,
Exactly.
okay, you've got a minute.
I know.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, time's up. And then he'd work away. And then again, but anyway.
And as a human being, you feel so rude doing that, but
He appreciated the
he
structure.
appreciated that little time, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it worked out
I mean,
well.
you wouldn't do that with every student, but this
No.
particular one.
And I definitely wouldn't do it with you.
No.
Can you imagine?
Okay, May, go. but this was kind of like reminding me of when we're in that yarn store. I'm going, Colleen, we really need to go. You've got like 4 minutes.
And I found something, so it was great. All right, my second souvenir comes from Sephora. Now, they've had all kinds of sales and things, but what they do, and it's not just at Christmas, but this is a holiday must-haves is what it's called, but they have what they call their favorites. So lots of times it's a lot of mini sizes of things. Sometimes there's full sizes of things. And it arrived.
Wow.
So I'll let you hold
And this
that.
isn't an Advent thing, is it?
No, this is not an Advent thing. So this is called Sephora's Holidays Must-Haves. So you get a good price for things. Now this was also on sale a little, there was a special sale going on. So before it was on sale, I think the regular price was $77 for this whole thing, but it was like $200 worth of things. Product. So it's a good deal anyway, and then there was a bit of a sale going on. So it's got some lip stuff and some eyebrow stuff and eye mascara and eyeshadow. It just got a whole bunch of things. Now, it has been so hard for me not to dive into this, but I thought, no, I have to wait and I have to show you. So the nice thing is it tells you how to use all of the things that you have, and so
Now,
it's very
is
exciting.
Shoppers Drug Mart where you got this?
No, you have to
Oh.
get it at Sephora.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sephora's an actual place?
It's basically a makeup store.
And do you get it delivered, or do you have to go to the actual store?
You could do either, but lots of times with something like this, they don't keep it in the store. So
I
you
see.
order it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Very good. Now, how
exactly.
did you get yours? Did you go in the store, or did you order it?
It got delivered to the house. It's amazing how
Wow.
that happens.
It is.
Yarn comes to the house, makeup comes to the house.
Now that brings me, you're so good with gifts and what they can do and that kind of thing.
Right.
You had some ideas for gifts.
Yes, I do.
For knitters.
Correct.
For Christmas and what you would maybe want in your stocking or things that would help you in your knitting. Am I correct?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Now, some of them will fit in a stocking, but some of them won't fit in a stocking. But I was because I had blocked that shawl, it made me realize how happy I am that there's certain things that I have. So let's talk
And
about...
that's how I feel with my products too.
Yeah.
I feel really happy that when I go to reach certain pliers, certain scissors, certain saws,
Right.
I'm very fortunate to be able to have the equipment, which helps.
Exactly.
And same with knitting. When you reach out to
Exactly.
be able to block something, you've got it.
Exactly. So I have two things, well, there's three things that I like to block, but to block that shawl, I use two of them. So the first thing is this lace blocking wire kit. It's a Knitter's Pride one. I know that I got mine at Little Red Mitten. I'm not sure if they still carry them, but it is brilliant. So it's got it's got long wires and shorter wires. And so for any place on a shawl that there's a long straight edge, then you just weave this through and it allows you to block that. So
And these are about $30 to $40.
Yeah,
$40.
in there.
Now, if you knit a long stocking, this would fit in your stocking. But yeah,
Maybe
$30 to
that's what I should do.
$40. That's a great.
Yeah, so that's that. So that was great. So I used
So what
that.
you do is you buy yourself this stuff and you say it's from Santa.
Right. Now, the other thing is that I have, and I have to admit, I have 3 sets of these. So these are called the Knitter's Pride Knit Blockers. And I'll just hold that up so you can see it. So this one looks like I lost one, but this is the only problem when you order something from Amazon. It arrived to the house without the one in it.
Oh.
In the big scheme of things, it's not an issue, but you think, I ordered the thing, I should get the thing. Now, depending on how you order it from Amazon, depends on whether you have to work with the company directly or not. But anyway, it was all cellophane wrapped. I don't know what happened, but anyway, I let it go because it was just going to be too much hassle. So they have these blockers. I'm going to be careful because they're very sharp. And then they have the smaller ones. And the nice thing about it is it keeps things straight. I also use something that are called U-pins sometimes, but I used to block the shawl that I showed, the Duchess of Devonshire shawl. I used 3 sets of them. I didn't have to use all of the blockers, but I needed the little ones, and so it worked out well.
That's
So
another one.
that's something. Definitely would fit in a stocking, and it's really important. Okay, so that's that. Now, this doesn't look much like something to fit in a stocking. And this is not an actual blocking mat. You can buy blocking mats, but I know that they had these at the Real Canadian Superstore. I know they have them at Canadian Tire. Basically, it's called a play mat. Now, I don't think these are going to last as long as real blocking mats, but they work. And I use this down in our basement, and we've got a carpeted floor, and I put this on top. So it uses what this is and the carpet underneath, and it will help block
Yeah,
it.
that's great. I use these in the garage, different color ones I use, and I use them all the time.
Right.
When I have to go on the floor, or when I was painting
Right.
the house, I use them. They're fantastic.
Exactly.
They're really,
Yeah.
really good. And
So
we
I
have
think
some
you
in the
get
garage.
4 in a set, I think.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
all over. They're different places you can
Exactly.
get them. Yeah.
So that helps with blocking as well. All right. Now, what else would I think? Now, these definitely would fit in. And these are what are called bulb markers. And we may have to, well, we're going to have to take a picture because I don't think I'm going to be able to show you. So sometimes they call them gourd markers. Sometimes they call them bulb markers, but you can order them on Amazon. You can buy them in stores. And they're great stitch. You know how you have a day when you just drop everything? Today's the day. So anyway, I just put, oh, you can't see what's happening here, but I'm throwing things everywhere. Oh dear. Anyway, I had bought some of these little containers and just put a few in so I could
did you
throw
buy
them
that
in.
container? It
Yeah.
doesn't come in that.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So anyway, I had bought, when you order them off Amazon, you don't just buy 10. Like you end up buying 200 or 300. So sometimes you can buy them that are plain silver, plain gold, or you can get them that are kind of coated. So those are great. When I did that lace thing, I used those kind of things, you know, and so they're not expensive, and just pick yourself up some because they're great. And I would think that would be a wonderful thing. Now, the other thing that has rescued me, and that is what this is called a Smart Way. And what it is, just this tiny little scale.
Now, I see you using this a lot.
I do. So if you're knitting and you want to know, do I have enough yarn for another row? Then what I do is I weigh it before and weigh it after the row, and I can tell approximately how much per row. So when I was doing that cowl, that Laura Nelkin cowl, I was using this because I thought I'm not going to have a lot left, and I don't need to have that little bit left. I might as well use it all up. And so I kept weighing it and I kept weighing it, and then I finally thought, okay, I know I'm going to have enough, and I did. So I got to have a whole other, it was 16 rows. I got to do extra 16 rows.
And so you just put the yarn on there and it tells you here.
Exactly.
Now it takes little AA batteries or AA batteries or something.
I haven't replaced them, so I can't even remember.
Yeah, well, it does take batteries. So
Yes, it does. Let's see what it says. Oh, it says AAA batteries. There you go. But I've had that for a long, long time. So that is another wonderful thing to have. So some blocking things, some stitch marker things, and that scale. That is a brilliant thing to ask for.
There you go. And of course, knitting needles, those round things.
Yes.
Ukulele. What do you call that one? Like, what do you call them? Ukulele.
I think you're talking about Luca.
Luca.
It's almost like ukulele.
Yes. Those two you could buy. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So lots of ideas. Good for you. Yes. Now my souvenirs.
Yes.
I do have some.
Oh, good.
Of course, you saw my saw, which I don't have with me. It's in the garage.
Right.
And it's all, because it's been well used already, it's
Yeah.
all kind of sawdusty, which is great. But I did go to a place called Grandpa's Dollhouse, which is in St. Thomas, and it has been closed for COVID, but it's reopened again, so it was kind of fun to go there. And it's just basically on somebody's kind of farm, but they have like a little side store.
Okay.
And they have all these little miniature things for doll houses and that
It
kind of
is
stuff.
amazing.
Yes, it's very, very cool. So I had fun there, and I got a little dinner set. I don't know what you call this, pots and pans, I guess.
Oh, they're so cute.
They're so cute. The price was great. I just put them on top of this so I could show you what that was like.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I got that.
Very nice.
And then I couldn't resist. I got this guitar in this case.
I love the case with it. We've
love
seen
it.
little guitars before, but
Yes.
never in the case. So
You know
that's
what?
great.
And you know, for the price of this thing, it was like $13. You couldn't make this
No, not at all.
for $13. By the time you got the
Clasps.
the hardware, you know,
Yeah,
the
exactly.
hinges and the clasp
Yep.
and the guitar and the strings. Like I have to
Wow.
restring this guitar. It's a little bit of a mess. But for $13, I thought, wow,
was a
that is
great
so
deal.
cool. That'll look great in one of my little miniature rooms.
Very
Yes.
nice.
And a couple other little things I bought. It was a couple of broken things that I can use their legs and that type of
Right.
thing. But it was a really fun trip, and it was great. And I'm really happy with all my souvenirs.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So, that is our episode.
Yeah, we've been up to a lot, yes.
We have been up to a lot. We've been very, very busy, and the weather gets a little colder, and you're in the house a little bit
Yes.
more, so we're doing that. So, thank you so much for watching. We really like when you spend time with us. If you like what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up. Comment down below. Let us know if you found a store that you'd like us to visit, or if there's another craft you'd like us to attempt, because we're always game to give something else a try.
And also, you might want to press that subscribe button, because I'm pretty excited about that bag that you use. Now, it may not be Christmas. You could do...
Oh, no. I've got, trust me, I have fabric.
So we could do the style of it, though.
Exactly.
And have a giveaway, which would be awesome.
Absolutely.
I love giveaways. And maybe I could put some of my little Christmas ornaments in there that I've made for a giveaway next time.
Oh, that would be a great idea.
So subscribe. That's important.
So thanks again for watching, and until next time.
You take care.